Let's go to Jessica from Arlington, Virginia. She listens online. Hello, Jessica.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Well, how could we help you then?
Well, I'm calling because my question is how to, I guess, well, a quick background. I've always wanted to accomplish a lot of things in life, and I want to say I'm right now 35, and I've accomplished a lot that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since I was 12 years old, I've always had like a sense of emptiness and sadness. And I've always thought, well, once I graduate from high school, I'll be happy. Once I start driving, I'll be happy. And then it was once I go to college and become what I want to become, I'll be happy. Once I get this job, once I get married and have a child. And I've accomplished those things. But I've always felt depressed and kind of empty, not happy, like it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest thing was that I wanted to get married and have kids and be a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
And those things, and I got those things. I got a good husband. I have a beautiful 10-month-old. And I'm a stay-at-home mom. But now I feel like a sense of emptiness and just depressed, like it's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to shake that off.
Okay.
You know, it's
Jessica,
like, how do I,
what if...
and today's just not a good day, so I'm calling because I'm thinking, how do I ever get the sense of fulfillment?
Let me kind of clarify something here. And this is I'm really glad you're asking the question, because a lot of people feel this, that they make some connection between their achievements in life, and you've done a lot of good things and healthy things. They make a connection between their achievements and their happiness. And often those are not related at all. Like if you went to the doctor and you'd been working out and you ate right and you ate fruits and vegetables and you ate Dave's Daniel diet and blah, blah, blah. Ate the right stuff. And you're really in shape, and he said, oh, by the way, I'm looking at your test, you've got a glucose problem. You're diabetic. Well, you'd look at all this stuff and say, well, I'm doing all the right things. Why might it feel? Well, they don't have anything to do with each other. You have some kind of an endocrine condition or whatever, or something genetic, and you've got to deal with that with medication. And a lot of times people have hurts and wounds and losses and brokenness and unhappy childhoods and things that people didn't treat them right, and they never get the medicine for that, but they achieve great things, and they don't understand. But it's because those have nothing to do with each other. My hunch is it has nothing to do with the fact that you're a very achieving person. I think you've probably got a wound somewhere that you haven't dealt with.
Yeah, the achievement is a way to kind of compensate for whatever that wound was, and whatever it was that you didn't want to deal with or didn't know how to deal with. And
to interrupt, I grew up in a loving home, in a Christian home, and I don't have any trauma. Nothing has happened to me that I can say I'm dealing with this.
Have you ever had any losses?
No, and I was not bullied in school or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a chronic sense of sadness and emptiness, but you've had this great life?
Yes, absolutely. Because
okay,
I guess that's why I'm calling, because I feel like, why do I feel that I'm missing something when?
Yeah.
All right. Let me help you.
Well, let me say one thing before you help her.
Okay.
And then I'll help you guys.
It sounds like everything was built around achievement in your family and performance, and acceptance, was based on the fact that you achieved and you performed. And there's what's missing in that is the sense that I'm accepted for just me, whether I do anything or not. And that's where I would begin to look. I would begin to look at that as a gap somewhere that says, my experiences were good, but there was a piece that was missing, and that piece that was missing was, I'm fine. I'm a good person just for being who I am. And I think you might find that's the key to what you're looking for.
Okay. Would it make you happy to know that at 5 a.m. this morning I was preparing for this phone call, or God was preparing me for this phone call? Would that make you happy?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is this? People that are watching on television can see that this is a barf bag from the airplane I was on. And what is the first word at the top of the barf bag? Happiness. And I have some scripture that I was studying this morning about happiness. And here's a little insight from the Bible. First of all, David asked for happiness. He said in Psalm 86:4, "Give me happiness, Lord." So it's not wrong to want to be happy. But he also said this, that happiness was found in the path of God's commands. So we can say that we could do a lot of stuff, but if we're not really following what God wants us to do, there's not going to be happiness there. That's one concept. Okay. And then Proverbs 10:28 says, "The hopes of the godly result in happiness, but the expectations of the wicked come to nothing." And I think the key word here is expectations. You can have like it says somewhere, how silly it is to think that money is going to bring happiness. It doesn't. But I think you can expect that your achievements and all this stuff is going to bring happiness, when the expectation needs to be, the closer I get to God, the happier I'm going to be. The more I obey God, the happier I'm going to be. The more secure I feel in His arms, the happier I'm going to be.
But if I'm Jessica and I'm listening to you, I'm thinking, but I worship God all the time and I listen to Him. Maybe you're already doing this, Jessica. Are you not doing the list that Steve has, or are you? Because let me just kind of explain how. Let me explain how.
I'm glad that you said the last thing you said was because I don't feel close to God, and I go to church and I pray. I don't read the Bible all the time, but once in a blue moon I do, and I don't think I do anything that is upsetting God. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't know how to be close to God, and I don't know how. I don't know how to be one of these Christians that, they just feel happy no matter what, and they've got much less than I do, and they're happier than I am.
Jessica,
and I don't know how.
Jessica, why don't you try this? Why don't you say for 30 days, I'm going to make a point, I'm going to connect with God for 5 minutes before I do anything else. I'm going to have my Bible by my bed. When the alarm hits, I'm going to pull it open and I'm going to read one chapter out of some book, maybe the book of John. And that's going to start my day focused on God. And I'm going to take God with me all day long, praying constantly and seeing if you don't have more good days than bad days, more happier days than sad days.
Well, but see, what I'm afraid of if she does that is that becomes a performance. And then, like everything else that she's done has been a performance. How do you get past that performing to where she feels like God accepts me for me?
It could be a performance, but it also could be a connecting habit, like meditation or fasting are these things that we can do to connect with God. And so I'm not telling her to go out and feed 8 people every day. I'm just saying start with a consciousness of God's presence in your life by reading a little bit of His Word. You might read one proverb, a chapter of Proverbs in the next 31 days, and just experiment and see if that doesn't bring a little more happiness, because it brings God a little bit closer to you. Any other thoughts, guys? I mean, that's the best I can do.
No, it's great, Steve. Here's my concern, Jessica. Happiness is very, very important in life, and God meant us to be reasonably happy. But Steve and Dave and I don't want you to go down a one-path trail, because there's lots of reasons people aren't happy. Steve gave a wonderful one, and it's one of many. But I don't want you to go, okay, now I'm really close to God and I'm worshiping Him and all this, and I'm still unhappy, and that makes me worse, and you're going to feel guilty and bad. I want you to look at this as a diagnostic exploration. We're all supposed to explore this. It might be a medical issue. It might be a loss you've never dealt with. It might be that you had people around you all the time who didn't know you at a deep level, and they were warm but not intimate. It might be you didn't have a lot of choices. Maybe you don't have space to have negative feelings and space to have anger and those sorts of things. We don't know yet. And so don't go down the one-trick pony ride. I want you to look at this and give yourself 30 days to do this. Do Steve's part. And if you come out happy, call us back and say, Steve's a rock star. Or call us back and say, I am better, but there are other things. So I don't want anybody to think that God made one answer for everybody, because the Bible has many, many reasons we're unhappy.
As a gross generalization, I would say one of the most common things is an imbalance of the parents between expected behavior and affirmation.
Very important.
Yeah.
And you might really look at that, and I'll just add, could that be part of it? Your parents expected a lot of you, but they didn't balance that with affirmation and acceptance and love.
Well, they were loving parents, and no, I don't think they really were the type of parents to say we expect a lot from you. However, since I can remember 6, 7 years old, I don't have connection with people. I had a hard time finding someone
good diagnostic exploration there.
That's the key.
Now we're going. People often don't feel close to God because they don't have the people part too. And so,
I mean, I think I'm an interested person in people, but I have this thing where I don't want to get close. I had one friend say to me, I feel like we could be best friends, and especially said that I stopped accepting her calls.
Okay, hold the phone. Hold the phone, Jessica.
Now we got something.
When she said that to you, which means you're a good person, when she said that to you, what did you feel in your heart? It was something bad happened in your heart.
I don't know what to do with that. I don't know when someone wants to get close to me, and I push them away because of my reaction of you're getting too close. And I've always, and my parents, my mom has said that to me. You know, you don't like people to be close to you, and I don't know how.
Jessica, hold on. Let me give you a menu.
I want to, but I don't know.
Listen to me.
I don't know how.
Jessica, I'm going to give you a menu, and you say which one resonates in your heart. Are you hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. When people try to get close to me, I'm afraid they'll leave me. When people try to get close to me, I'm afraid they'll know that something's bad in me and they'll reject me. When people try to get close to me, I'm afraid I'll need them too much and scare them away with my dependency. Do any of those resonate in your heart?
I just feel that people, they will leave.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. So what we'd want you to do is to find some people in your community. We're going to leave you on the line with some good people to get a good church or a good counselor or something. I'm going to send you my book, Beyond Boundaries, which is about this very issue, and help you understand why it feels like God's plan, which was your friend says to Jessica, I want to get close, and you say, hey, me too, and we're going to both get close together and take risks and talk about our dreams and our feelings and our hurts, and that doesn't happen. It means there's a break somewhere, and God can heal that, but you're going to have some people help you. All right? So we're getting there.
All right. Let me send you Healing is a Choice, the new revision, and because one of the choices is connection. And I think if you listen to the program enough, you know that we probably on earth here value that just about more than anything.
Play a broken record on
is
that.
The connection.
Just a connecting bunch of guys.
Yes, we are. Connect. Anyway, we'll send that to you.